I just started out with my CS studies and I quickly ran into a problem. I was unable to find time for my projects like this YouTube channel here. After some reflection into the past and reading the science, here's my solution to that problem. All you need is an if statement for your mind and a method call to retrieve your most important task. I will show you how I implemented this into my own daily life and how this if statement is constructed. So let's start building that if statement. Right now we have an empty if statement. But to fill this up, we need to understand two crucial concepts. The first one being your philosophy towards using your time. This is where we get to Cal Newport's deep work and the journalistic philosophy for scheduling your deep work. Deep work scheduling sounds fancy, but in reality just means how are you going to get things done in a focused manner. With the journalistic philosophy, you're trying to get things done whenever a time window opens up. You don't plan it, you just take your chances. If you're already busy with your CS studies, it's hard to schedule time slots for your side projects. That's the reason why this approach is perfect for someone with an already tight schedule. It's simple to implement and you have a clear intention. Whenever you have time to do focused work, you do the work. So let's put that into our if statement. If a time slot is available, our if statement should be called. Okay, great. We established when you will work on your side projects. This is one crucial part for our if statement, but we need some more information. We need something that actually happens in the if statement. What do we need? To answer this question, let's get into the basics of implementation intentions. As you can see from this one example, there are some people who thought a lot about this concept and tested lots of things, but what we need to know about this concept is that implementation intentions describe a way of setting goals where you define when, where, and how you're going to accomplish a goal. This will make you more likely to achieve these goals in reality. We already defined the when and the where. So how about the what? We get the what by calling a method. Practically speaking, this method call is just you opening up your to-do app and going into a filtered view to get your most important task. These tasks in these filtered views should be categorized and prioritized by the priority and also by the due date. Let's add this to our if statement. What we need is first, we need to get a task. Whoop, not in caps. Even though shouting is fun, we get a task and we call the method get task with highest priority. And our argument for this method call will be the situation in which you're in. When we go over to my to-do list, I have 3 distinguished filters. One being when I have time between lectures. Then I have a filter for when I'm on the go, meaning I'm on the subway or I'm sitting in a car or I'm just sitting at home or university and basically have time to do whatever. And then I have after wind down, which is when I went through with my wind down routine and I still have some energy left. I will use that energy to work on some things because that's another half an hour to an hour in a day that I can use to work on my projects. Okay, we got our task and now it's time to execute this task. Execute the task. There we go. And you do this whole process for as long as you have time. So in reality, maybe this should be a while loop, while time's not available. But I think an if statement is way more elegant than a while loop. That's our final version of the if statement. If you find time to work on a project, you get the task that is fitting for your situation with the highest priority, and then you execute on this task. This is elegant and easy to execute, but it's also rigid. At the end of the day, it's an if statement. Sometimes though, being inflexible is also a good thing, as it protects you from distractions. You trade flexibility for focus, and in my opinion, that trade is worth the price. And I think if you are watching this video until this point, it's probably worth for you as well. So now it's your turn to implement this concept into your life. To do that, you should identify 4 points. First, what situations in your life reoccur where you find time slots to work on your projects. Just be aware of the situations in your life where you don't use your time like you want to use it and write them down. Then second, if you don't have a to-do list already, write down the tasks you could work on in these situations. Once you have them and you already have a task management app like I have with Todoist, you check if this app supports labels or tags and also filters. If it does, you can implement this approach easily. Next, you take your tasks and the list of your situations and you go through the tasks and label them with the situations in which you want to work on them. Then if they have deadlines, add deadlines to them, and if not already done, add a priority to the task. After these 4 points, the only thing that's left is to run with that system. Follow these 4 steps and try this approach for 2 weeks. Let me know if it helped you with following through with your side projects. Lots of success in achieving your goals. I'm out.